So, I mean, just in summary, and I know I'm running short of time, so I'll move along. The key points that I want to take today is, and that's why I'm really glad to follow Paul in today's session, is connectivity. A lot of these things do require internet connections, and that's why the NBN is going to be so fantastic for it. And I hear the pain from a lot of people around here today. Then you couple that with the different providers, and there are guys who will talk more about this today. Work with them and work with people like us to actually put all these together. Hopefully today I've given you a bit of an idea what's available and what cool things are actually happening. And other than that, I think that's it for me, and I'm happy to take some questions.
Why do you use an iPad and an iPhone?
I decided to pick one, I think, and I picked an iPhone originally, then I got an iPad. And I think the important part is to pick a brand. And if that means if you've got an Android phone, get an Android tablet. They really do work better together. I picked this just, that's where I was at that time. So, I mean, just to jump track for a second, I like the process that you have to go through to get an iPad or an iPhone application out onto the App Store. It's got controls around it compared to the Android one. There's been a few cases where people have put like Bank of America applications on an Android tablet. It wasn't the real one. They stole lots of money because there was no QA checks around it. Can't happen in the Apple world because everything goes through a QA process. That's where it's more control, but it's not open source.
I've got two things I've been looking for. I'm using the Android platform, and my wife and I both have Android phones as well. We're trying to do something that's, I don't think the right word, but that we can we want to share our calendars across both our phones, the tablet, and also our laptops, using it, not Exchange but Outlook.
Yep.
To do that, we've been sort of trying to become quite good as relatively well.
Yep, okay.
And secondly, I'm trying to work out a good task manager that I can just write tasks in that sort of go between the phone and the thing. And I found that actually the keyboard is one of the hardest things to actually.
Well, you can plug a Bluetooth keyboard into any of them.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're in the tractor,
I understand. Yeah. I'd probably have a look at a product. It's sold through Telstra, but it's a Microsoft product, which is Office 365. I think I might have left some information on the back of it, which is, it's almost for a small business. We're talking $7.90 per user per month, so it's probably only two of those accounts where you get a full email system. You get what they call a SharePoint system, which is an online file storage / collaboration area if you want, plus Microsoft Link. And Microsoft Link is something I haven't covered at all today, but it's a real-time communications and collaboration product. It's very powerful. It has most of the functionality that you've actually talked about in there.
Yeah, I've sort of seen that on the internet, but I haven't heard anyone using it. So
I've looked into it too, and as soon as you ring Telstra,
well, talk to us, okay?
it's run by Telstra.
Yeah, well, Telstra are the sole distributor in Australia, but it's actually a Microsoft product. We don't sell it, we sell it via Telstra, but in terms of integrating it and making it work, that's what we do. 5 years ago, we used to sell, most solutions for a small business had a server, a little server and a couple PCs. These days, most of our those smaller solutions are based on Office 365. Okay.
I guess my second question, I don't know whether it's covered in terms of apologize. Do you know of any technology or something that's coming to replace the wireless gateway we're not complaining about? I've bought one of those 4G little ones that are meant to have the plugging around, but none of them are available.
Okay.
So I don't know when they're going to cover anything like that because our gateway just died.
Yep.
Is there something in the pipeline that you know that is actually going to replace this?
Well, hopefully you fix wireless. I mean,
it's a big issue for our users.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you'll actually get fixed wireless to your house, and then if you want to extend that from your house outwards. Okay.
Most likely satellite.
Yeah. There's ways to extend 4G as well with antennas, and
Well, that's what I'm hoping to do. That's why I've gone 4G with the back.
yeah, I mean, I did somewhere just down near Crestbrook, and they were in Crestbrook, were in the middle of nowhere, and we put an antenna pointed at the right tower, and there's ways around it. Yeah. Last one I wanted to quickly say was there's rumoured to be Microsoft Office for iPad/Android released later this year.
Okay.
Not confirmed. Might, yeah.
It's just, I don't know how if you use spreadsheeting much on your iPad or the Apple technology, just integrating between both.
See, because I can actually connect back to our corporate system and run the full everything. I use a product called Citrix to connect back to our office, and I run everything. So I'm not actually running it locally. That's where it's not so much of a problem, because I have the full Outlook, full Excel experience on this thing, because I'm connecting back to a Windows server. So yeah, I understand the pain, and something like Keynote's very good in terms of being close to something like PowerPoint, but I agree there's some of the stuff, and that's why I wanted to, Office hopefully will get released for it.
What about things like that, like e-slates and stuff that actually run Windows? Would that solve that issue?
Yeah, absolutely.
How limited then do you become? And what I've been told is Windows is so sort of bulky and thick and heavy that they don't really run that well.
Windows 8, which is coming out later this year, should help with that, but that's where I sort of, if you look at the summary, pick, make sure you've got connectivity, then pick what you're trying to do, and then pick the technology. If you can do it with an iPad and you've got the software for it, great, but if you don't, you might need to look at Windows devices still. That's why today wasn't about iPads, it's about understanding the process that we go through with everyone.
I know we're out of time, but you mentioned you're aligned with Telstra.
Yes.
Get a phone over the phone, it says yes, everything's right, it's got an external antenna port and those sorts of things. I couldn't find it unless you go with those Telstra smartphones. You can't seem to get an external aerial port. They said with the new Nokia's, yes, Windows, Microsoft phone, all good. Didn't come with it. I don't want to give it up because it's got the Office suite of software.
Yep.
What's the next best thing to get some reception?
To give one of our people a call, because I'm not the telephony guy, but give someone a call there and ask those questions, and they'll be able to hopefully give you the right answer. And it might not be available, or it might be a change of platform. I don't know. I'm not the telephony guy, unfortunately.
Just be held off a while, to let the technology sort of catch up, but it just hasn't.
But at least you're doing, you're going through the process of trying to work out what you want to do. But unfortunately, I don't know every ins and out of that side of our business. Yeah.
Have you got some cards, John?
Yep, my cards are all over on the table there, and some other information about the stuff we talked about today.